Hello, and welcome to Stress Management. This is a Strategies for Success workshop. My name is Sarah Call, and I will be your host today. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first step in this is just doing a check-in with yourself. So, asking yourself, what emotions are you feeling right now? What has been the high point of your week? What has been the low point of your week? And what is something that has been causing you stress? And so if you want to pause and maybe take a minute to reflect, you can do so. And if you have trouble identifying your emotions, there is a diagram here to maybe help you find the words to express what you are feeling. So another piece of reflection is on a scale from 1 to 10, where is your stress slash anxiety at? So 0 being none at all, and 10 being the maximum amount of stress that you have ever experienced in your entire life. If you'd like to sit for a second and reflect, you can pause again. So I'd like to take some time to walk us through a mindfulness exercise. So for that, I just need you to get comfortable in a seated or laying position. You can have your eyes open or closed, whichever is most comfortable for you. Um, but I'm going to read the script and just follow along. Start by settling into a comfortable position and allow your eyes to close or keep them open with a softened gaze. Begin by taking several long, slow, deep breaths, breathing in fully and exhaling fully. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, or whichever is most comfortable for you. Allow your breath to find its own natural rhythm. Bring your full attention to noticing each in-breath as it enters your nostrils, travels down into your lungs, and causes your belly to expand. And notice each out-breath as your belly contracts and air moves up through the lungs, back through the nostrils or mouth. Invite your full attention to flow with your breath. Notice how the inhale is different from the exhale. You may experience the air as cool as it enters your nose and warm as you exhale. As you turn more deeply inward, begin to let go of noises around you. If you are distracted by sounds in the room, simply notice them and then bring your intention back to your breath. Simply breathe as you breathe, not striving to change anything about your breath. Don't try to control your breath in any way. Observe and accept your experience in this moment without judgment, paying attention to each inhale and exhale. If your mind wanders to thoughts, plans, or problems, simply notice your mind wandering. Watch the thoughts as it enters your awareness as neutrally as possible. Then practice letting go of the thought as if it were a leaf floating down a stream. In your mind, place each thought that arises on a breath. Your breath is an anchor you can return to over and over and over again when you become distracted by thoughts. Notice when your mind has wandered. Observe the types of thoughts that hook or distract you. Noticing is the richest part of learning. With this knowledge, you can strengthen your ability to detach from thoughts and mindfully focus your awareness back on the qualities of your breath. Practice coming home to the breath with your full attention, watching the gentle rise of your stomach on the in-breath and the relaxing, letting go on the out breath. Allow yourself to be completely with your breath as it flows in and out. You might become distracted by pain or discomfort in the body, or twitching or itching sensations that draw your attention away from the breath. You may also notice feelings arising, perhaps sadness or happiness, frustration or contentment. Acknowledge whatever comes up, including thoughts or stories about your experience. Simply notice where your mind went without judging it, without pushing it away, and without clinging to it or wishing it were different. And simply refocus your mind and guide your attention back to your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Follow the air all the way in and all the way out. Mindfully be present moment by moment with your breath. If your mind wanders away from your breath, just notice without judging it, be it a thought, emotion, or sensation that hooks your attention, and gently guide your awareness back to your breathing. As this practice comes to an end, slowly allow your attention to expand and notice your entire body and then beyond your body to the room you are in. When you're ready, open your eyes and come back fully alert and awake. The breath is always with you as a refocusing tool to bring you back to the present moment. Set your intention to use this practice throughout your day to help you cultivate and strengthen attention. Okay, so if you wanted to pause on that exercise and extend it further, you can do so. But after doing so, I want you to reflect once again on a scale from 1 to 10, where is your stress and anxiety at? I know for me, even just reading that script, I think my anxiety went down a couple points. So that is good. Um, but yes, if you like to pause and take a moment, you can do so now. So how to handle emotions when things go wrong. So there's this acronym RAIN. It stands for R is recognize, so consciously acknowledge the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that are affecting us. Allow, so we kind of saw this with the exercise, allow these thoughts, feelings, and behaviors to simply be. Take a life-giving pause with the intention to relax our resistance and let the experience be what it is. Investigate, figure out what is going on within yourself, asking questions such as, why do I feel the way I do? Or what do I really need right now? So you're making space for your emotions and the experience of your emotions. And then nurture. Be kind to yourself and offer yourself what is needed. Provide affirmations to yourself and practice self-care. So self-care, maybe that is journaling, maybe that is working out, maybe that is cooking a nutritious meal, maybe it is a nap, maybe it's drinking water, right? Self-care is very important. So some tips to juggle multiple tasks: prioritize. So this will help reduce your anxiety, right? List your tasks from most important to least important and or by deadline. My brother's favorite saying growing up was, if it's do first, do first. Write a to-do list and check each task when completed, or write tasks on sticky notes and throw them away when done. You could block out time in your schedule, make a tentative schedule if needed. So if you have a planner or even an Excel sheet with an hour by hour column. Know when to delegate. So a good leader knows when to take charge and when to trust their team members. So if you're involved in any clubs or organizations, knowing maybe when you have to give up some of that control in order to complete some more timely matters. Try to focus on one thing at a time. Take breaks, work in increments, right? Some folks can buckle down for 3 hours at a time. Some people can only do 15. Do what works best for your brain. And lastly, learn how to say no respectfully. So if you are already struggling with a bunch of demands and tasks, and somebody else wants to ask you for something, it's okay to say no and say, hey, no, I wish I could, but I really need to focus on this right now. And that is perfectly okay. Healthy boundaries reduce stress in the long term. So talking about stress, there are negative effects of stress. They may not necessarily be immediate, but long-term stress can wreak a lot of havoc on your mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health. So diseases, right? Heart disease, high blood pressure, strokes, abnormal heart rhythms, some mental health issues, right? Anxiety, depression, personality disorders, sexual health issues, gastrointestinal, so meaning like your stomach, and your intestines, so ulcers, for example, memory loss, because if you are stressed out, chances are you might not be remembering everything you need to, sleep disturbances, um, insomnia, such as, or sleeping too much if you are too overwhelmed. And lastly, substance use disorders. People often turn to substances as a way to cope. So if you can handle the stressors of life without substances, that is the most ideal, utilizing some of those self-care techniques that we talked about. Oh, and we're going to talk about some more. So exercise, setting goals that could be helpful in getting organized and could help reduce that mental load. Mindfulness, which we practiced earlier. Meditation, similar to mindfulness, but a little more spiritual. Yoga. Practice gratitude. So what are the things you are thankful for in this moment? Everything may be awful or stressful, but I know for me sometimes it's, I have a roof over my head and a warm bed, and I'm grateful for that. So no matter how simplistic it is, being gracious, gratitudish, grateful, that's the word. Um, Also, another thing for stress relief, don't take yourself too seriously. Like, it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay to laugh at yourself. Practicing boundaries, so that saying no respectfully, don't take on more than you can handle. And then make sure to check in with yourself and your emotions. I think oftentimes we are so much a go, go, go society that we do not take time to consider, okay, how am I doing today? What do I need? Right? So make sure you do some of that. Here's a list of apps that you can look at for some self-care, relaxation. Um, some of them may be available on iOS, some of them may be available on Android. Just go to wherever it is you download your apps and look for some of these. And then lastly, here is some information for our counseling services. They do see clients through Zoom. So if you are a person who is not physically at the Fayette campus where these two are located, you can still access counseling resources. Um, but there is all the information you need for that. That is the end of my presentation. So thank you for joining me. I hope you got something out of it. Another resource I would recommend is Netflix has a meditation interactive. Let's see, Netflix meditation. It is called Headspace. Look it up. We talked about the apps. Look at those. But if you have any other need for resources or suggestions, you can also contact me. I'm also located here on the Fayette campus. Thanks for listening.